Sounds good? Sounds good. If you look closely in this video, on this corner right here, on the left corner on the video, you can see John Calipari and Marcus Camby. And I think I'm blocking. You can't see Dr. J right here. So we're at UMass, and I am with
Rasheen Davis.
Rasheen Davis, assistant coach. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So this guy has a crazy journey, amazing story, and I want you guys to get to know this guy right here. How many schools? Louisville, Xavier, Pitt, VCU, Manhattan, UMass. 6 schools, 6 Division I schools, and then St. Thomas Aquinas, that's D2. So 7 colleges.
Yes, sir.
7 colleges and 11 NCAA appearance out of 12 seasons. Working in D1.
Unfortunately.
11. Most, like I said, most guys don't get a taste of that. You went to high school at Rice.
I started high school at Rice with my first 2 years, and then we moved out of the Bronx and moved up to a small town called Spring Valley, and I went to Ramapo High School up there.
You went to Ramapo?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that?
I mean, it was good. Still got to, play. Obviously not the same as a historical program like Rice, but we had some success. Won the county center, went up to Glens Falls, stuff like that.
Then you went to St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah.
Worked over there. Well,
Yes.
went to school there,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually coached over there while you were getting your master's.
No,
on,
I
right?
got my master's when I was at Rice, actually.
When you were at Rice.
Yeah.
Okay, when you were coaching, when you were playing, you had like a life-changing event.
Yes, so I had ended up having to get brain surgery. Had something called AVM, which stands for arterial vascular malformation, something that people are born with, and majority of people don't know they have it, and the ones that do get it, they just pretty much die right on the spot. So I was kind of blessed and fortunate to not have that happen.
Okay, so all of a sudden you just didn't feel good, checked it out.
Yeah, I was
boom.
playing defense one day in practice and kind of got hit with a hard screen and started having migraines, and from that point, maybe 3 days had passed, and ended up having a seizure. I was 20, had never had a seizure in my life.
Seizure at 20?
Yeah, never had a seizure in my life, so it was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Did a CAT scan, and that's when they found everything out.
I actually helped out a girl. She had a seizure on the street, so I know how scary it was.
Yeah.
Mine was I'm walking, and then I had to call the mom and get the ambulance and the whole thing.
It was definitely scary.
So that was a whole entire thing, and then no more basketball.
For a year. I didn't play for a year.
Okay. And when did you start getting into coaching? Did you want to be coaching?
I did not, but like most people, you realize that professional aspirations kind of dwindle down as you get further along in the sport. Then I played for a really good guy, Dennis O'Donnell, who is now the athletic director at Cardinal Hayes. And, he asked me if I wanted to help him, and I was like, sure.
And that's how, but what did you want it to be if you weren't coaching, when you were younger?
Actually, I wanted to be what I eventually was doing. I wanted to be a guidance counselor. I had to start off as a teacher.
Right.
So I got my master's, but I was able to do that for a few years before I left to go to Louisville.
Okay, so you're doing counseling, working at Rice, Gauchos as well.
Yeah, I had with the Gauchos a few summers. Was at Rice, and I was the guidance counselor at a public school.
Okay. And how was that, dealing with younger kids at the time?
I mean, it was fun. It was actually funny. I do more guidance and counseling as a coach than I did as an actual guidance counselor. So that's a whole other story.
Okay.
But it's always fun for me. You know, I started at Rice, and you know, all middle school wanted to go there. Never got to finish there, and always stayed in touch with Mo Hicks, who his first year was my sophomore year, and at Rice.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when he had the opportunity to add someone else to the staff, we spoke about it, and it was cool. It was a fun, you know, anyone that, you know, played in the city, you know, really that Catholic school league is a phenomenal league. They, you know, it was tremendous back in the day. It still is really good now. And, you know, we had some really talented young men, and we played against some talented young men. So it was fun.
The years you were coaching at Rice with Mo Hicks, right? Who were some of the players? Obviously, very notable.
Edgar Sosa went to Louisville.
Yep.
Curtis Kelly, who went to UConn and Kansas State.
Yep.
Jordan Enriquez, who went to Kansas State. Kemba Walker ended up at UConn.
And then playing for Charlotte.
Yeah, playing with the Charlotte Hornets right now. Chris Fouch played at Drexel. Momo Jones went to Arizona, transferred to Iona. Yeah. So I mean, we got some talented guys.
Big time names, big time players. How did you? There's a lot of people always want to work in D1, work in college basketball. What was your way of getting into D1? You went to Louisville, obviously, but like, how did you do it? And what's the secret? What, I mean, you know,
there really is no secret. It's funny because people think I just popped up and ended up somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know, I worked a ton of camps, 5-star, hoop group, Eastern Invitational, Poconos Invitational, and you know, it was years of that. You know, I worked Iona's basketball camp, Providence basketball camp. You know, for me, I just, you know, I was a student of the game, so, you know, I even worked St. Raymond's basketball camp. Like,
really?
Yeah, so it was just, I was always trying to take advantage of opportunities, and you know, whenever there were clinics, you know, some were free. I went to those, and, you know, the more expensive ones, I would, you know, pay for those too. So,
okay.
You know, when I had the opportunity to go to Louisville, I had known Steve Masiello, who's now the head coach of Manhattan. He was assistant at Louisville, and they had an opening there, and he asked me, was I interested? And, you know, I was going to turn the opportunity to work for, you know, Rick Pitino, who is one of the best, if not the best in the business.
Okay, so Steve called you in and recommended to Rick. So most of the things is trying to get into a lot of camps, work, put your
well, that was my way of doing it. Everyone has a different way, and there really is no
set
right way.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, it's really who knows you more than who you know. You know, had Steve not known me, I still knew who Rick Pitino was, but Rick Pitino didn't know me. So the fact that Steve knew me, it was an avenue to, you know, get me in the door.
I like that. It's who knows you.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Most of the time
we both know Michael Jordan, but he don't know what.
Right. I mean, most of the time it's like, oh, who you know, but no, you're right about that. So he gave you the call, and you were like, did you ever think like, should I go or not go?
Well, I did. I had to really think, and it was a calculated risk. It was a roll of the dice. You know, I had a really good career. Had holidays off. You know, New York City public schools.
Yeah.
I was making good money. I was young.
Right.
And I was going to Louisville to be, you know, essentially a paid manager.
Okay.
When I say paid, I use that term loosely.
Yeah.
Had to live in a dorm. I was on call 24 hours. But again, for someone who didn't play Division I and didn't really have, you know, an uncle or a dad or someone that was tied in, you know, at some point you got to sacrifice and you have to take a risk. Fortunately for me, I was able to do that, and it paid off.
How long was the process, the thought process?
I mean, literally everyone in my family.
What did they say?
Thought I was crazy, you know.
So they thought you were crazy going to D1.
Well, you know, I was making pretty good money.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, fortunate that I was able to do that, you know, at my age and and I was doing it legally. So where I'm from, there's a lot of people they don't make it out. I'm originally from the South Bronx, and I have friends that have had some rough times. So, for me to have this career and a good one, and to take a $42,000 pay cut for a gamble, because there was no guarantee.
There was no guarantee for the second year.
Yeah.
It was just 1 year thing. Whew.
Yeah, sometimes you have to bet on yourself.
Yeah. So you bet on yourself. You went there for a year, right?
Went there for a year, and I had a very good experience. I learned so much that I had no idea about it. If you haven't played at this level, or know someone that's very, very close, because even the players that sometimes don't share a lot of things. It was an eye opener for me. People think student athletes have it easy. When everybody else is on vacation, them guys are working. When everyone else are partying, it's a lot. These guys get a lot, but they have to give so much. They're earning every bit of their scholarship, if not more.
Right. That first year, what are 3 things you would say you learned?
You have to be very meticulous in your preparation. I just watching Coach Pitino just operate on a daily basis. He was very calculated in what he was doing from, the managers on up. He didn't treat the man like he expected the managers to act as if, it was him. So it was just ran like a well-oiled machine. So I would say, preparation, number one, was the biggest thing. 2 is the commitment that you have to have in order to do this. And then, the rewards of your hard work. And sometimes in this business, I've been spoiled, I've been fortunate where I have been rewarded for my hard work, but sometimes in this business, everyone across the country is working hard. From the worst team to the national champs. Everyone's working hard, but everyone doesn't get that.
Right.
That's filled of 60.
It's a zero-sum. Yeah, it's a zero-sum game. There's only one championship.
So to me, it was great. I had the opportunity to my first year out. Playing in the Elite Eight. That was an experience.
Then you go to Pitt. What made you go to Pitt?
It was an opportunity to be a video coordinator there.
And, step up.
And James Dixon, class act, and a lot of guys from New York that I had coached against on that team. So I was very familiar with them, and it was Big East at that time. Not in the ACC, but it was a fun experience.
Okay, going from Pitt, next stop was Xavier.
Yes, sir.
How was that?
It was different. At Louisville, I was, program assistant, and I wore many hats. At Pitt, I was a video coordinator, so I had to do all the film, do all the edits, and be responsible for that stuff.
So you were making the mixtape before?
Well, pretty much. And then at Xavier, I had the opportunity to work for Chris Mack, who's done a phenomenal job there in that program. And at the time, we were in the A-10, and he gave me my first opportunity to be a full-time assistant.
3 stops so far. Learned a lot.
Learned a ton.
Obviously, the second stop wasn't as eye-opening, and the third wasn't as eye-opening, but there were still new things involved.
Correct.
Because all the coaches have different, their leadership skills are different. At that point in time in your career, what are some of the things that you were starting to mix into? There has to be key things that you carry over.
Yeah. Well, it's all 3 of them are completely different people. All very, very good basketball minds, all very good people. So to me, I think you can learn in any situation, regardless how good it is or how bad it is. And I had a fun experience, all 3 places. So it's not really one thing I could really pinpoint, but I learned. You're talking about, some talented coaches in those 3. So I learned many things from all 3 of them.
And then you get a call, Steve again. The guy that called you before your first gamble.
Mm-hmm.
He says, come with me to Manhattan. And you go to Manhattan.
Yeah, that was a gamble. You know, most people be like, you doing what? You know, actually, most people did say you're leaving Xavier to go to Manhattan.
Yeah.
And it was more of a family, you know, decision, trying to get closer. At that time, I needed to be closer back to New York. There's a few things that were going on that I needed to be closer.
Okay.
And there was someone that I knew. It was the person that basically brought me into business.
Yeah.
You know, so it was an opportunity. Manhattan and had a history of success. You know, Fran Fraschilla and Bobby Gonzalez. So, you know, I worked with Steve at Louisville. I knew that he was a really good basketball mind. So I had no doubt that we would get the thing rolling. And fortunately, we were able to do so.
You guys go to the NCAAs.
Yeah, we.
Which is not easy.
Not easy, and for me, that was probably where I got my first experience because I was spoiled, and
you were at Louisville on TV, Pittsburgh on TV, Xavier on TV.
Yeah, and it was private planes and all that stuff. You get to Manhattan, it's like you're the academic advisor, you're checking classes as a coach.
You're the dad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always the dad. It's funny. I always tell parents like, "You'll love me. The kid will probably hate me because I'm, be hard on them. But at the end of the day, they'll be prepared for life, whether that's life professionally or as a player or life professionally in the workforce." Manhattan was different. It was different because I got to learn more of, scheduling. I didn't realize. How difficult scheduling was. Most people won't. Most people think you just pick up the phone, hey, you guys want to play? Yeah. So it's not that simple.
Okay, so let's talk about that. How is that?
Well, I'll tell you this, scheduling is harder than recruiting.
Really?
Yes. Any coach that's done scheduling will tell you, school A will say those dates work out, and then you go tell your boss, hey, such and such said they're going to play us on this date. And then a week later, they'll say they don't have the dates, and your boss is ready to, kill you.
Okay.
So it's scheduling is actually harder than coaching and recruiting.
You didn't do any. You weren't even near the scheduling during the previous stops.
No clue.
No clue.
No clue. Just assumed. All right. Guarantee games. Louisville's gonna play. I don't know. Albany.
Yeah.
All right, Albany, this is how much we're going to pay you. Do you guys want to take it? And they say no. Okay, then you call the next school. All right, we can pay you this much. Do you guys want to?
Right, this is our budget, travel, expense, everything.
Well, no, so the way it works for the lower level schools playing the BCS schools, they're called guaranteed games.
Yes.
So whatever the school pays, that's what they pay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, basically for you to use it for travel or gear or whatever you use it for. They don't determine that. They pay your team to come play.
Right.
Just like with,
it supports the Division I program.
Like UNLV football playing Howard.
Right.
Like they paid Howard to come there.
Absolutely.
Howard won. So
Howard won.
It's not that wasn't a guarantee game.
Same thing with Liberty too.
Yeah, well,
right? Baylor.
Yeah, we played LaSalle, guarantee game when I was at Manhattan. And we beat them. So
it was a away game.
Yeah, well, anytime you have a guarantee game, that's when the BCS school.
Okay, they invite you in.
Pretty much.
Okay, so you were doing the calling, and you realized this is more.
Well, I wasn't doing it by myself. I was assisting, and fortunately, that wasn't like one of my main tasks because I was getting frustrated just assisting. I'm just like, dude, you just told me you had these dates, and now you're telling me
it's gone.
Oh, dude, it's any college coach you speak to that's been involved with scheduling will tell you it's crazy.
But I'm just thinking maybe it would be easier because like at Manhattan's a smaller school, so you can't really cherry pick. So could you just be like, all right, if this is, you call in a Power 5 school, and hey, are you available? They'll be like, okay, we'll take you.
Well, the Power 5 schools, they actually call you. But the thing is, it's just not that simple.
Okay.
So with scheduling, you think about style of play. Like, do you want to play a Princeton? That's like
right.
Team that runs Princeton office. That's sometimes difficult to prepare for.
Yeah.
You know, do you want to play a team like us in Manhattan? We pressed and we had kind of like our matchup zone was kind of, if you're not accustomed to it, you really don't. How mature is your team? If your team is a BCS team with seasoned vets, okay, well, let's play Manhattan because Louisville's in our conference and they play a similar style. That'll help get us prepared.
Gotcha.
But if you're a team that, you're BCS school, but you got a bunch of freshmen and you don't want to take that risk of playing an Iona who can score a lot of points.
Right.
You rather play a different school because it's supposed to be a guaranteed game.
Gotcha.
So when you're a low-level school with a lot of talent like we had at that time and like how Iona has been, certain schools won't play you.
Right, it's harder. Okay,
well, it's not harder. They gain nothing. And all right, if you win, you're supposed to win. But if you lose, like
for those schools,
yes, like UNLV football is looking bad because they lost to Howard. Now I know nothing about Howard or UNLV, but on paper, Howard's not supposed to win that game.
Right.
But that's the thing about competition. Once you get in between those lines,
ball
tips up. Anything can happen.
So scheduling was one of the hardest things you learned at Manhattan.
Hardest and eye-opening. Yes, it was.
And it's carried over.
And it's something I'll try to stay far away from. Any opportunity I get.
But someone in the staff, the coaching staff,
Yes.
is always responsible for that.
Yeah, well, sometimes, depending on the situation, administrators are involved also.
Okay,
Yeah.
depending on the program level and everything. Then you go to VCU.
Yes.
How was that? Shaka left.
Shaka left. It was interesting. He, to me, Rick Pitino was like a Mount Rushmore guy in the basketball world.
Right.
Especially college basketball. And Jamie Dixon, we were number one in the country. We won a lot at Pitt. And, Chris, it was different because Chris had just started, Chris Mack and Xavier. So
yeah.
We were winning, but he's not the Chris Mack who he is now with all these wins. And you get to VCU, and I had no idea how much the city of Richmond loved Shaka. I mean,
he's huge.
Beyond, he had like his own sandwiches,
what?
Like pictures everywhere, and I was like Rick Pitino doesn't have this. He's a Hall of Fame, so it kind of, it threw me off guard. But it was originally we lost they had a top 25 class coming in. Him and his staff, they did a phenomenal job with that class. So we had lost that class. We lost a transfer, really talented freshman, Terry Larry from New York.
Yes.
He's
He's at UConn now.
Yeah, playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
So we lost him. But we did a good job, putting pieces together, and we had guys that were used to winning but hadn't been responsible.
Right.
For the winning because they were younger.
Were you there with Melvin?
Yep.
Okay, Melvin's last year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, I've known Mel since he was a baby.
His mom never comes to the game, right?
Well, she comes.
Did she come to one game in the senior year?
She comes. She just hides. In high school,
okay.
In high school, you couldn't hide. He wouldn't let her come. So I said, man, he won't see you. So many people there. But,
all right.
Melvin had a great senior year, and he's doing well. He's playing in Italy now, making good money for himself. And, VCU was a phenomenal place. It was fun.
VCU, the market, was it because, Shaka has such a huge fan base because of the area? There's not much other pro teams over there?
Well, I mean,
you got Richmond over there.
Yeah,
right?
Shaka's a good guy. And,
yeah.
The Havoc,
that
whole thing kind of took over. And
it became bigger.
Yeah, I think it was a lot bigger than Richmond. And the fans, the VCU fans are, they're into it. The administration's into it. So it was some Shaka, but people don't really understand. Like Jeff Cable was there.
Oh yeah,
Left and went to Oklahoma.
Duke.
Anthony Grant was there.
Yep.
Left and went to Alabama. So it's a
Grant was before Shaka, right?
Mm-hmm. When then Shaka replaced him. So it's Shaka leaves, goes to Texas. Will Wade leaves, goes to LSU. So it's and we won the 2 years we were there. So it's a great place to be. if you're a basketball fan, because you're gonna get the support, from the administration and from the fans.
So Wade leaves, and then you leave, and you're back at A10. This is your third Atlantic 10 school. Third Atlantic 10 from Xavier at the time.
Well, you better say Xavier, because the people that went there in the Cincinnati fit, you say Xavier, they don't like it. It's Xavier. Almost like a Z. It's spelled with an X, but yeah.
Xavier.
Exactly. Two Holloway will get you. That's a New Yorker. Mark Lyons, upstate New York, they'll get you. Two New Yorkers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so you're at Xavier, VCU, and now UMass.
Yes.
How's it being here so far? It's only been a few months.
I mean, right now it's great. We haven't had any snow yet.
Okay.
So,
it's not bad. This is a zoo.
I don't know. I haven't experienced it. I will say this. The people here are tremendous. I've been here 3 times prior to working here. Had no idea how beautiful this campus was. Campus is, it's phenomenal. It's a beautiful campus.
You only been here 3 times. So when Xavier was in the A10.
This is the only place in the A10 I haven't won.
What?
Xavier, we got upset.
You guys lost.
Came here, got upset. Chaz Williams, New York.
Oh, yes, yep. Bishop Ford High School.
Yep, New York.
Yeah.
Manhattan, we played them in a marathon. I believe it was like an 11 o'clock game in the morning, ESPN marathon. We lost in overtime.
Here?
Yep. In overtime, we drew up a lob play.
Okay.
To go into overtime. I believe it was actually number 1 and was up for ESPY.
All right.
And then my first year at VCU, not strolling through the league, but with top seed in the league, doing well, come here and get upset. So
kids weren't dialed in.
They know they were dialed in. I mean, people don't understand. There's no days off in the A10.
Yeah.
Regardless, if you're the top seed, if you're the bottom seed. Every program in this league is very good. A10 is very, very good basketball.
Oh, yeah.
And you have some really, really talented young men and some great coaches. And now there's a ton of new coaches in the league that are just, will be just as good, I'm sure.
So VCU winless here for you. Manhattan winless here for you. Xavier winless here for you. Wow, I didn't know that.
Only place I haven't won.
Holy.
But as a coach here, I'm looking forward to changing that.
So you never even knew the campus. You just went straight into the gym?
Yeah. Well, so the way it works is when you travel on the road,
yeah,
you're in your hotel, you get on the bus, you go to the gym.
Of course.
You get off, you come out the gym, you get back on your bus, you go back to your hotel. So you don't really get an opportunity to really see the campus.
I got a fun story for you. You know all the UConn kids, not like around Talik Brown time and even before Ben Gordon time.
I never lost to UConn, by the way.
Rub it in. You know where they would party, right? Rich Hamilton. They wouldn't party on UConn's campus.
UMass.
They would party right here.
Yeah, well,
UMass.
As a coach, I'm well aware of the parties here.
Yeah.
We're one of the top party schools in the country.
Yeah.
So
it's a good social environment compared to.
It's good for the players, but it's not good for the players.
Yeah.
So listen, when you're an athlete, you have to understand you have more to lose than the regular students.
Absolutely.
But there's definitely a social life here.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of options.
Well, I mean, you got the 5 colleges.
Yeah.
UMass, Amherst, Hampshire, Smith, Holyoke, all 5 schools right around the valley.
And see, even that I didn't know until I got here. I knew about UMass basketball, had no idea how big this place was.
Yeah, oh, it's huge, man. It's huge. It's huge. It's actually, it's higher than, so we talked, it's higher than UConn.
Yeah, well, the thing is also located in a good spot because we're 2.5 hours from New York City, 2 hours from Boston, so you get everything in between.
This campus, huge. You never knew it was this big.
No clue.
No idea.
No clue.
But the sports management program is like one of the top in the country. If not, like number 1, 2.
1 and 2, depending on
What's the other school?
That I don't know.
Because I know this is like big time school.
Yeah.
My former boss went here.
Really?
Yeah. He was at Kennesaw State. He just left Kennesaw State as the AD.
Really?
Yeah, and he's at BC now as the assistant. So like senior director, whatever. The guy that he's working with, he's working under, he's 35 years old.
Yeah, you're a new guy.
Yeah, the young guy. But the thing is, they have some stuff to take care of over at BC. That's another story. Yeah. But yeah, this school, beautiful campus. I would say this is like, I know this for a fact. This is better than UConn's campus. And this is honest. I mean, for basketball, pretty darn good too.
Yeah, I mean,
except for the front door, I always have.
Brand new facility.
Yeah.
Been open 2 years. It's good. It's 24 hours. I never really like to talk about any other school, but that's your opinion. So I'm happy that's your opinion.
No, I like it here. I like it here. You guys got two. This is part of it's a little bit different. The way it's designed. My only pet peeve was the front door, but other than that, it's really cool.
We have to have ID to get in.
Yeah.
Well, that's great for us coaches. I mean, anybody can't just walk in here.
Right, exactly. So you were surprised when you came up here and really checked it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been to the Mullen Center, which is where we play our games. Yeah. I had heard about the practice facility, but again, I never saw the campus. So, I had an opportunity to do that. We have our first visit, and these guys, the managers are like, well, Coach, you guys better order a golf cart. And I'm thinking, this place can't be that big. And then we go like on a pre-tour, because the managers obviously know the campus better than us. They're they was here before us. And we started driving on the golf cart, and I'm like, this place is huge. I had no clue.
You thought you were just going to maybe walk around.
Yeah, I mean,
And then the managers took you guys on a ride.
Yeah.
Wow, totally surprised. That's the same thing, because I was just at school at Stony Brook. Jeff Bowles was like, he didn't even look when he took the Stony Brook. Like, his agent set the deal up with the AD. He didn't even look, and he said, I didn't even know Stony Brook was this beautiful. He thought it was like nothing.
It was a head coach job.
Yeah, so he goes there and he's like, holy cow, it's like brand new facility, rec center. He's like, oh my God, okay. Now, you guys got some visits in, obviously, during the last few months. Parents and kids who've never been here. What's their reaction?
A lot of people were surprised.
What state are they from?
We've had people from really everywhere.
Okay.
New York, Massachusetts, Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland. So.
All right. So what's their reaction?
They're all like, surprised. There hasn't been anyone that has come and not been surprised. I mean, again, I'm in the business, and I was surprised.
Yeah. What's his name? Brian went here for a visit too, but now he's up playing at Ole Miss. So he was. Kellogg was recruiting him, so he went around here. It was like just open. It just opened up, and I was like, whoa. So you guys are getting, obviously this is a whole clean slate here. What's the direction of Coach wants to, build up over here?
Well, Matt, was fortunate where he worked for Billy Donovan for 11 years. And in doing so, he saw a program that was successful. And, he was a part of 2 national championships.
Yeah.
Which is not easy to do. And he basically took, what he learned there, brought it to Tennessee Chattanooga, he was the head coach there for 2 years prior to being here, and, took that team to the tournament. And, the one-bid leagues, you got to win your conference.
Oh, those are so tough.
So they, unfortunately, they got upset last year. But, that model that he learned in Florida, he brought to Tennessee Chattanooga, and now, bringing it here.
Look for it in a recruit. What do you recruit?
My number one priority
when you go into
a gym is toughness.
Yeah.
I need toughness over skill any day of the week. I feel like as coaches, we could teach skill, we get paid to teach skill.
Yeah.
But I still haven't met a coach, and I've been spoiled. I've worked for some really great ones, but I don't know anyone that's been able to give someone toughness.
Okay.
Or teach it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like either you have it or you don't. In my opinion. So that's one of the first things I look for. I like to see how guys react in adversity. Terrible call with a whole gym knows it's terrible.
Right.
Take a tough loss. Give a nice pass and your teammate misses the layup. Walking off the bench, do we give everybody a 5? Those type of things.
Good body language.
I used to be big into body language, but I kind of got away from that now just because the generation is different and really how people perceive things is different.
Yeah.
So I myself, I'm not a big smiler.
Gotcha.
But that doesn't mean I'm just mean. Like I'm a happy person. I love life. Every day I wake up is great. So because I don't smile, people kind of shy away. But when they talk to me and they speak to me, they're like, oh wow. So for myself, me not smiling kind of, you see me walking like, oh, I'm not gonna speak to that guy. So I kind of, if someone's just, doing all, eyes rolling, but I'm not as hard on the body language as I used to be, just because you just don't really know how things, what the kid is thinking.
Yeah.
What is now socially acceptable to them wasn't to me, and I'm not that much older, and really, unfortunately, their lives, because of social media, everything is so open now. Whereas I would say, oh, that's an adult. Okay, I'm not gonna curse in front of this adult. Stuff like that. Or, hey, I'm walking to a building, take my hat off. A lot of these guys aren't educated, and no one has taught them that.
Right.
So it's our job to do that. And you gotta understand, this is a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kid. There's things when I was their age I wouldn't be happy about now as an adult. But to me, there's age-appropriate behavior. Fortunately and unfortunately for them, because the school invests so money in them by giving them a scholarship and opportunity, you do have to be mindful of what you're doing. It's just a different generation.
What do you tell the parents, like, when you go meet them? Like, hey, this is why we're recruiting you. What do you look for from the parents, or what are the parents expecting from you guys?
I like to paint the most direct and straightforward picture as possible. Doesn't work for everyone. Some people want to be, schmoozed and how great they are or how great their son is, and you should feel that way because that's your son. The players should feel that way because that's competition. Like, you should feel like you're the best player in the gym. I should feel like I'm the best coach in the world. Whether it's true or not, that's how I should feel if I believe in myself. So, for me, I give you really just what it is. This is the situation athletically. This is the situation academically. And this is the situation, socially. For me, I don't think my job as a coach or as an assistant is to get your son to the NBA. I don't think my job as an assistant is to get your son a degree. That's not my job. That's his job. My job is to give him the tools that I've learned from the different people that I've been fortunate enough to work for.
And point it to the water, right?
And pour that all into them. And then they take it and hopefully get to the NBA. Or give them the tools that I've learned from all the different academic advisors that I've been fortunate enough to work with. Give them those tools with my own experience, and then they do it and get their degree.
Gotcha.
So, I kind of think, and it's just, me, I think people don't really understand, as a coach, you're on call. But as
24/7.
But as a player, you're on call too.
Yes.
So, everyone's so in a rush to get out of high school because you see what's on TV and
Yeah.
You get all the gear and you get to travel and all that. And that stuff, that's a part of it, That's great, but it's hard work to be a student athlete. It's not easy. And all your accolades in high school
goes out the window.
The minute you step on that campus, you could be a McDonald's All-American or you could be a nobody. You still got the same opportunity.
Start the same.
That's it,
Before we leave, 3 things that you learned through basketball that you carried on with your life, or 2.
I would
you say? Like, what the vehicle of basketball? What have you learned from it that you can apply to multiple things, not just?
You have to educate yourself, so you have to constantly be a sponge. You have to be a student. Like I can walk into a high school workout and I'll see a drill, or I can go to a high school game and I may see a play. I have no ego. I'm gonna bring that to my head coach. Oh, hey, man, I seen this play. I mean, this might work for us. So I think you can constantly learn, constantly evolve. Constantly read, constantly watch.
Mm-hmm.
That would be number 1. And then the commitment part. There's no way around it. You're either fully committed or you're not. Point blank period. That's with anything. That's with school. That's with wife, girlfriend, husband, boyfriend, children, job, just anything. If you're not fully committed, chances are you probably won't get the results that you want. And you can be fully committed. If you don't get those results, at least you can say to yourself, I put my all into it. And that's what I think. I think because the landscape of basketball now, a lot of these guys, and I'm kind of generalizing, but
that's fine.
They're not really used to adversity.
No, not at all, man.
Let's take New York, for example. Back in the day, there was really 3 teams. And in those 3 teams, you had an A, B group for each age level, and sometimes a C. Well, now there's so many teams. If you don't like Team A, you can go to Team B. So you don't never have to really prove. So let's take Kemba, for example. Right?
Yep.
NBA basketball player.
Yep.
Barely played as a sophomore. It was good enough. We had 2 freshmen played more than him. Momo Jones and Durant Scott played more than him as freshmen. So this generation, he's probably leaving, going to another school, to be featured. Whereas he had the mindset, and his family had the mindset for him to keep working, and it paid off for him.
Went to UConn.
But guess what? Didn't play there as a freshman.
No, he didn't.
Played at the end, but didn't play at the beginning. Rocky sophomore year.
Yep.
Could have blamed the coach. Transferred the program. Stuck through it. Gets to the NBA. What happened there? Barely plays, and actually has better numbers than the person playing ahead of him with less playing time.
Yeah.
So, and I just use him as an example, but there's plenty of examples of guys, and I can speak to that because I saw it firsthand. So, I just would like to, any of the young kids, whether we're recruiting them, whether we're not recruiting them, don't run from adversity, because adversity builds character. And you can't be in a perfect situation every time. There's going to be some junior in college that may not be as talented as they are, but they will already know the coaches.
Yeah.
They'll most likely be physically stronger. So you may be more talented than them, but you got to have a mindset. They may already know what the condition is going to be like. You may be fresh thinking, okay, I'm a better player, I'm going to play. That's not always the case. So it's a process, and unfortunately, us as humans, especially now, we want it right now. We don't understand the process, and it's results. A lot of things are result base instead of process base.
Coach Rasheen Davis.
Thank
He might be recruiting, might be calling you. So be ready.